Alright, as of the recording of this video, it is 3:11:69 p.m. and in 2 days Nioh 2 releases. And I was thinking, before I get overloaded by playing that godly game, yeah, there's gonna be quite an overlap. I won't have time to even maybe edit videos, so big apologies on that. I'll try to post clips when I can, but check out my Twitch. But that's not the point. The point really being is that there's so many games coming out. Like, I think I'll try to post the pic or something. Ah, crap, the camera's being trash. Alright, cool, I fixed it. Autofocus is off. Anyways, there are so many games that come out. Just already, I think we're about to reach the halfway point with Nioh 2 and Doom. Doom literally comes out like 7 days after Nioh. I just have to re-look at this. Yeah, no. 3/13, Nioh releases. Doom Eternal. Oh crap, I had to have blocked it out with the Vanquish poster. Regardless, it's so fast. And then the crazy part is, you guys know, Animal Crossing is coming out the same day as Doom. Hopefully that game does well. You guys deserve it. I fucks with Animal Crossing. But there's another 2 games that I feel were definitely overshadowed. And see, here's the thing. There's already games that already did come out, but aren't having as much priority, except one. And they came out on the same day. That's Hunt and Vanquish Bayonetta Remastered. And they both came out 40 apiece. I pre-ordered both of them. They came out on the same day. The same day. I barely played Hunt. I'm sorry. Vanquish, I planned it. It's just a better game. When you're online based, it's kind of it's okay. It's not a bad. I think as far as like a battle royale game, one of the best. And then soon after that, the next game to come out, I think I might be wrong on this. Please do correct me. I don't remember, but yeah, I think One Punch Man came out. Yep. So this one came out. Pretty fun, actually. Definitely nobody gave a damn about this except for like the fans, and even then, like, this was a surprise, like a One Punch Man game. So there was some buzz about this, but you know, so far the biggest hit is the Vanquish remaster and Bayonetta, and more so for Bayonetta because Vanquish is like a niche title. And then Grand Blue came out, not even like 7 days. Like, all of this is within 7 days, like 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, you know, and those 2 are in the same day, more or less. Like I said, you can check 7 days, and then like I said, 2 days from now Nioh 2 comes out. And I've been pressed for time. I'm impressed I even platinum Vanquish, because this is actually hard. It's not that long of a game, but for you to get good at this game, it takes time. Luckily for me, I already played it and I was already short 1 trophy, so my skills were there, and then playing fighting games over the years make this much easier. But again, I'm like past halfway, but this game just becomes grinding near the end. And it's an arena fighter. It's not that deep, and I just came from Vanquish, so yeah, no, I'm gonna get bored. It's not happening. And as far as Grand Blue, here's a 10-second review. I don't really like it. The only reason I got it was for the co-op, so I could play with my waifu. And right now, I haven't seen my waifu in a minute. Yeah, things happen, long story short. But that's the even reason I'm still keeping this around. Once me and her beat the co-op, she gets the gist of the game, we'll move on to a much better fighting game. I'm not digging it. Not my cup of tea. I do appreciate the single-player mode. That's the biggest reason. Props to you. This game's not worth $60. Barely even 40 in my opinion. Like, I actually like One Punch Man more. I like One Punch Man more than this. And I'd say this is the borderline on top of what a real fighting game is. You know, respect for, you know, making it easier for casuals to get access. But yeah, Nioh 2 comes out in 2 days. But let's not even just talk about that. These have Resident Evil 3, Doom, Final Fantasy. All of these are so hyped. See, Grand Blue, like, all the games I talked about until now, there wasn't like, oh, this is neat. Like, that's the most hype you get about it. Let's be real. These games are so hyped. And let me tell you, alone with the 2, we'll start with the 2 that are coming out so soon. And that would be Nioh and Doom. Those 2 games, I feel blew expectations. Like with Nioh, the Souls genre was everything, but it never impressed me. That's the other thing. For me, it holds a special place in my heart. Like, I was getting bored with games, and the only one that was even hard was like the Souls series, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is so boring. I don't think it's hard. You know, I was almost getting depressed. Then Nioh came, and so did Umbrella Corps, and it just made me like, bro, my love for gaming was reinvigorated. Nioh did that. You know? And then Doom came along, and like, I thought it wasn't even gonna be that good of a game. I never got it on release. Then I played it, and I was like, this is good. It's a good ass fucking game. And to think I didn't even conceive a sequel for them. I guess for Doom you could see it, but it's just like, you know, it just never occurred to me. And the crazy part is, I feel this is more true with Doom than with Nioh. I feel they are greatly improving upon the game. I just got done watching like a mini documentary of them adding new enemies and what they did with old ones. And there was a couple of issues. Like, I would remember I didn't play Doom back to back as hard as I did Neo. That's why I say Neo more of an influence. But the new Doom is like, it's pumping steroids into it. I feel Neo 2 is just adding a little bit of spice. Like, I feel Neo 1 is, again, not full-heartedly, but to a degree was better. You know, was better baked than, say, Doom. But Doom had a lot to live up to, and the fact that it lived to the expectations is extremely nice. And then the fact Neo was living pretty well with the, you know, again, the Souls hype, and in my opinion, it surpasses it. All I'm gonna say is it holds 60 frames per second. Enough said. The conversation's over. And yeah, no, just fucking Christ. And oh, another thing that points out, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2 came out. And by the way, these are reimaginings. They're reimagining. So there was a remake in the works, and then they went from a remake to a reimagining. And 2 is so good. Like, I'll leave it at that. I have a lot of nitpicks with 2, but 2 things I think they did extremely well is the fact that they just redid the story, and they kept as true of it to as much as possible. The zombies are great. They're always great. If anything, they're probably some of the best. I mean, it's the same zombies from 2 with a bit of spice to it, but I feel the Resident Evil 2 zombies are some of the best representation of the zombies canon-wise. The fact that they're so hard to take down, I think it's beautiful. I love it. I fucking love it. And the gore, the weapons are a bit disappointing as far as impact. Mr. X is god tier. Hell yeah. No, so, you know, as far as what I like from Resident Evil 2 did good. I wish it would have had some extra game modes. You know, it doesn't feel like it's worth 60. I like Ace Combat 7 a lot more, honestly. And then we're having 3, which, I mean, it's got Nemesis. Like, I mean, I think they'll be fine. It's just that for me, Mr. X is, if anything, is better in the remake, or not the remake, see, there you go, in the reimagining than he was in the original, because he's actually did the first playthrough and not the second one. Whereas in here, I mean, obviously it's Nemesis. It's gonna be yeah. It's gonna be great. This game's gonna sell. Another reason why I think Resident Evil 2 sold so well in 3 is because they're not easy. You know, I like difficulty. We live in an age where everything's just baby down. People are remembering back to a harping time when we enjoy difficulty. I mean, Vanquish alone, like, hey, here's the other thing. If anyone wants to have a big day contest, oh, what's the hardest game? It already happened. It's called Vanquish. Take it from me. Look at this face. Look at this face, bro. I've already beat Neo and platinumed it. I've played Doom, you know, back on PC. Back. Vanquish is Chad as fuck. It is one of the hardest games you could play. You want to have a contest? Guess what? It's already out. Try planning it. Apparently, I was one of the 3 people to get it within at least a week. That's how goddamn hard it is. And I'm telling you now, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But again, let's move on. Final Fantasy. I mean, come on, bro. It's Final Fantasy. I mean, personally, I think it's overhyped, but even then, the sales numbers speak for itself. You know, I think, personally, it'll probably do as well as 15 did, not only in the number of sales, but in reception. Because the thing is, for me, who've never played 7, you know, let's take it from everybody. We're like, oh, it's gonna be great, fun. You know, grand old time, and we'll judge it barely as a game. We're like, yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. And then the fans, either they'll be, oh, I love it, or some people will be like, oh, I have a lot of nitpicks. And that makes sense. I have my nitpicks with 2, and that's respectable. But even with all that, I feel, who knows, I hope, but I feel it won't be as divisive as 15. That's what we're all hoping for, you know. I think it'll be a fine game, and as far as difficulty, it's definitely going to be the easiest out of all of these. That's undeniable, but I feel it might be a bit harder than 15. 15 was a bit disappointing in the difficulty spectrum. I don't like the combat so far. I like 15's more. I like how free flow it was, but at the same time, I mean, if a journalist is already complaining about the boss, and it's like, then we're on a good track. So, but yeah, no, as far as difficulty goes, it's not going to touch Doom. It's not going to touch, heck, it's probably not even going to touch One Punch Man. Shit, that game ain't hard. But who knows? Who knows? I know nothing. But, alright, now let's get to my sales expectations. As far, right now, I know the Vanquish Remaster did pretty okay. It wasn't bad. Hunt is actually doing very well on stream. As far as streams go, Hunt is doing even better than Grand Blue. Yeah, it's interesting. If not, or less, a little bit less. But already Grand Blue versus sales are extremely solid, but it's very FGC wise. One Punch Man is the weakest one out of all of these, but at the same time, it's weird. It's not doing as good as One Punch Man, but its reception is nowhere near as bad to a degree. It's only some of the hardcore people, and right now I haven't heard anything bad. If anything, I've been praising the game for the most part. And it seems like sales will go right now. The publicity for One Punch Man is not that well. The only thing that's carrying it is literally the title. Like literally, like fans hear about it, like, oh, I want to check it out. But it's like there are a bunch of fans. So as long if they can step up the advertising or something, One Punch Man can really go up in sales. But here's the tough part. At the same time, these sales numbers could be a lot higher, and they won't get higher at this point over time either. Right now, all these games, they're gonna stay where they're at now. Cause look at how many games are coming out. There are some that I completely blocked off because it's like, who gives a shit? Like Last of Us, who cares? Last of Us is overrated. some other game. Persona 5, I'm not a big fan of the censorship, enough said, and any real Persona fan would be, because part of Persona's theme is being real with yourself. Censorship is not being real with yourself. I feel Atlus doesn't understand Persona at all. It's quite disrespectful, and I don't like that Shin Megami Tensei is not on the title. Like, come on, bro, it's a little bullshit. But that's another topic. So for that alone, Persona doesn't even get a mention. I'm sorry. We already know it's gonna sell well, but see, I feel that has to be controversial, because Persona fans should be some, like, I've met some. They're very real people. You know, they're real as hell. So it's a mega shame if you go and buy that product. Like, how dare you? Or at the very least, hope Atlus lied. But again, now, here's my predictions as far as anything goes. Neo 2, on the first month, sold around, surprisingly well, around 3.5 million copies, 2.5, and it sold another 1 million copies, like, after a month or so. And I think the same process will repeat. Here's the crazy thing about Neo 2, is because it took out of all of these, it took everything by storm. Like, these, you can expect them. Like, Resident Evil 2, Doom, Final Fantasy 15, like, it was like, oh, it was a given. You know, I was on the pre-order for all of these games, actually. Resident Evil 2, and, you know, well, not Doom. Doom, sadly, no. And Final Fantasy 15. Neo, I didn't pre-order, but I was like, oh, I'm curious about buying it. Dude, every GameStop I went, they were sold out. They were all sold out. That just shows you. When Final Fantasy 15 came in, we pretty much all of us pre-ordered it. There was a line that stretched almost outside the door. Same with Resident Evil 2. And yeah, they still had copies. I feel Resident Evil 2 had less copies. They had like, oh, okay, here's a handful, and then whoever pre-orders. Whereas Final Fantasy 15, dude, they had a whole bunch. Like, Square Enix was really, really anticipating something. And the crazy part is 15, as far as sales goes, is the most disappointing. Like, it actually, in its first within its first day, it broke like sales records for digital copies. Actually, that's the crazy thing. So a lot of people got pretty fucked over on that one. Long story short, as we know, they released a bunch of editions, but yeah, and it sold around 5 million copies, but it struggled to get a lot more after that. It struggled. Like all these other ones I'm mentioning, they picked up over time. And as far as digital sales, it was the most Chad. That 7 remake, I think, might be the same. Might be, but then I changed my mind because they do have nice physical copies, and Final Fantasy fans, I feel the fans are the ones who got the copies. I feel the fans, and the fans like are less than the casual audience. You know, Neo 2, so yeah, so Neo 2 physical sales, amazing. And it's right now Neo will say at the 2.5 million mark. Final Fantasy 5 million. I'm assuming the exact same numbers, like no BS. I'm assuming the exact numbers. Neo got more. It got around like 4 million. It's crazy. Neo took longer to get to Final Fantasy 15 numbers than, you know, but it's because of good word of mouth. Whereas 15 was like, you know, if you were hyped for it or you weren't, and then nothing really that good was said about it after, like everyone was very, and then it got better over time, but not enough to convince people. 2, oh yeah, no, it did better over time, but at the same time not as well, because some people are like, oh shit, this is too hard. And then other people are like, oh fuck yeah, I love hard shit. So you know, that was 50. So it was a very, it has the slowest decline out of all of them, next to Final Fantasy 15, so it's second. So the ones who are gonna hit the hardest is gonna be Final Fantasy, Doom, and a bit of Neo and Resident Evil 2, but in that order. Final Fantasy, Doom, Resident Evil, and Neo. Neo's gonna be the weakest as far as starting off and building up. Resident Evil's right behind it. It's just because they're inherent difficulty, whereas Doom's legacy is just as strong. Like literally, Doom, Resident Evil, and Final Fantasy have such a strong cult following. But here's the thing: Doom and Resident Evil have been out way longer than, or not Final Fantasy, but Doom has, than Final Fantasy, and then Resident Evil, in that order. But yeah, no, Doom sales were around, I couldn't get an exact number, but I do know that they reached 3 million on PC alone. And let's be honest, PC was maybe half of the market for Doom. The other half was definitely a console market. And that's counting all the systems that it came out on. And even when it got re-released on Switch, it got an easy 1 million. So adding all that together, I'm saying 7 million. It'll round out to 7 million around by the end of the year. That's my guess. So as far as overall number sales, I think Doom might be the best one. Like Doom and Final Fantasy will be up there. That's my guess. And for 3, apparently it came pretty close. That one steeped up. Like the first month it was steeping, and then after that it's like a slow decline, and it was, I believe, 4 million. Yeah, 4.5 million, and it reached 6 to 7 million near the end of the year-ish. So I'm expecting the same numbers. Neo will be the lowest. It'll have a decent, you know, nice uprise, and Final Fantasy will be right after. Resident Evil will sell above Final Fantasy. I feel like I said off the bat, 7 will have the strongest next to Doom. but then over time, the other ones will overtake it, including Nioh. To a degree, I feel Nioh maybe might have a couple more or maybe less. See, that's their breaking point. You know, Nioh will, I feel, will have the steadiest one. But who knows? At the same time, this is a sequel that changes everything. 'Cause, see, with Nioh is like just the wild card. It is just such a wild card to me. And I'm trying to think now. Yeah, no, I think that's my expectations. I feel I might have gone too long, but hey, what can be helped? It's so much to talk about. But as far as what I think will be the best, I think I'll definitely, like, this is such a strong year. And then Cyberpunk is going to have to get one on its own. I think it's going to do chat as fuck. And the fact that it's further from these gives it a nice chance for people to build up money. Because the other thing that will make this harder is that they're all so close. People aren't made of money. They're just not, dude. But as far as which ones I think are going to be the best, I feel Doom Eternal will be the best one. Because Resident Evil 3, I already know is going to have nitpicks. I already don't like how Jill looks. You already get some mad negative. And I'm not a big Jill fan. And you're already losing points. I'm sorry. Just, I'm a fan. There's nothing you can do about it, you know? But I think 7 will be fine. My biggest problem is it's very story. The gameplay already isn't impressing me. I think it'll be okay. The graphics are going to be amazing, obviously. I think when it comes to sound and graphics, it'll probably be the strongest next to Doom. The budget is so high for that game. And just like, you know... Well, story, I feel like it's a very weak version of what we're used to anime now. You know, I feel people like this is basically like the first anime, and anime is the shit. Whereas now I watch so much, bro, that I feel the standards of Final Fantasy VII will be like, oh, this is a pretty okay anime. Like, it'll be mediocre, you know? Or who knows? I like the message of the, you know, keep the earth green kind of stuff. And I'm a big, you know, no hippie, but I runs with that. That's my guess on that one. Nioh 2, I think it will be better than 1. But not by a lot. That is actually how I feel, and this is my guess, and I'm pretty on point with all this. I feel 3 will be like fine, but for me, 3's saving grace will be its multiplayer. I fucking love that shit, and it's gonna have modes. Like, that's what I wanted from 2. That's what I wanted from 2. So I think I'll place 3 higher than 2, only purely because of that. I mean, there was free content for 2, so I can't harp it for that. I love the tofu stuff, but. And then the Nemesis, I think the Nemesis thing is gonna be tight, but I don't think I'll put it that much higher than 2. Maybe like a point above. You know, I'll have my nitpicks. It's the same thing, you know, it's repeating the same thing. I think all these, the least changes will be in 3 compared to like Nioh 1 and 2 because of the... It's funny, Nioh 2 in my opinion changed 2 things, but it makes such a difference, whereas 3 changed a lot, or not a lot, but certain keep, you know, Mr. X to Nemesis, it's Jill instead of Claire and Leon. And yeah, no, like, those are bigger differences in the scheme of things compared to just adding a parry for monsters in Nioh 2 and that you are a monster. But those impacts are so much more different. Like, the game is way, because that carries along with you the entire game, which just being Claire's like, oh, whatever, different story. Nemesis, that's quite a big change, but it's like, it's still a tyrant, you know? I'm very big into the lore. I'm still gonna have my nitpicks. Doom, oh my god, it just changed so much. It's so much more fast-paced. They added old enemies, new enemies. Like, fuck. I think Doom is gonna be the best game for this generation, for sure. Because I was already saying it with Nioh 2 or Nioh 1 and 2. And Doom, see, but I think Nioh was above Doom, just like I said, a little bit. I don't think they're both amazing games, but I think Doom Eternal is gonna take this one, and also its multiplayer is so underrated, and I think it will get a time to shine this time. Nioh 2 hopefully gets its time to shine, and multiplayer for 3 will be amazing. 7 has no remake, has no multiplayer, but that's fine. You don't have to take it from me. You can just be story based. It's fine. Resident Evil 2 did fine just without it. And yeah, those are my guesses. Cyberpunk, who knows? Because the things we don't know so much. I think it'll be up there. I think it'll be above 7. And probably over 3. And it'll be up there with Doom and Nioh. Let's see. And that's like my personal opinion as far as which ones the best ones will be. Like I said, 3 I'll just have nitpicks. So can it be helped? Doom Eternal, I think will be number 1. Nioh 2 will be just 2. Remake will just be the dead last one. And Grand Blue ain't getting shit. Oh, Vanquish. Actually, now think about it. If we count Vanquish, well, fuck all of them. Y'all can go eat a dick. Vanquish is Chad hard. I love it. And that'll be all. I'm sorry this video was so long. This is just so much. I couldn't help but talk about it. And when those games release, I will be playing them around as soon as I can and as much as I can. I'm moving. Waifu's doing things. And I will try to have my waifu play with me and all that stuff, and I will be making a video where I introduce her. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think about what are your expectations as far as sales. And I mean, for these things you could just look them up, like Noble, just go like Wikipedia or something. Trust me, it's not BS what I told you. They might be a bit off, but yeah, no, regardless, you know, best of luck to all these games. I think they're all gonna be great. We should honestly be glad, you know, regardless of what you think my opinion is. We are actually blessed to get this many good games. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the best time periods for games ever, besides I think a certain era around the PS3, but not within like a month span. Holy fuck, you know, that's insane. Actually insane. Not so much for our wallets though. Thank you guys. Come swing by Twitch when I go stream these games, and may you guys have a good day.